Okay, so we're going to get started. Okay, so welcome everybody to our Planning Social Media Content webinar. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about who we are and why we're putting on this event. So my name is Melissa and I work at the Innovation Quarters. The Innovation Quarters is located at 43 Elm Street, so we're downtown in the TD Bank building, and we have a beautiful co-working space that you can come and work out for the day or for the month. If you're tired of working from home, this is the perfect space for you. And then we also have the incubator program. Program runs for 6 months at a time, and it's really created for people that want to start a business that's innovative, and they want that extra support. So we provide that support for over 6 months, offering programming and training, one-on-one mentorship with mentors that are actual business owners. Obviously, they get to work in this our beautiful co-working space, and then we also get to attend a lot of networking events. So check out our website at innovationquarters.ca. And also joining our meeting today is our co-host, which is the Regional Business Center. So the Regional Business Center is a one-stop source for information and guidance on starting, expanding, and operating a business. So they serve a wider net. So they serve the Greater Sudbury, Espanola, Manitoulin Island, and the surrounding areas. And they can do confidential one-on-one consultations, business plan support, market research, and business registration, and more. So if you just have any questions about your business, you're not sure how to start it, or you don't know how to register it, or you want a permit or anything like that, they're able to support you, and they're able to support you with, writing that business plan and any other type of question that you have. They're located in the Tom Davies Square, but you can visit their website at regionalbusiness.ca. And we have a few upcoming webinars. So we have July 25th, Empowering Indigenous Entrepreneurship. So our guest speaker is from Wabatech. And Amelia is going to give us some information of different funding and training opportunities that are available to Indigenous entrepreneurs. And then in August, we have SEO and analytics for small business that we're putting on, and they're going to really help you kind of, tie in with what you're learning today with social media. How can that be tied in with the SEO and analytics of your website to further enhance the performance of your marketing? So you can visit innovationquarters.ca or the regionalbusiness.ca website. Sorry, regionalbusiness.ca, right? Let me just double check that. Yes, regionalbusiness.ca. Our event calendars are shared, so you can register to these events on either site. Okay, and without further ado, our speaker today, Corissa Blaseg, and I hope I said your name correctly. Yes, perfect, from Crosscut Distillery. Thank you so much for being here today. And Corissa has said that, yes, that background behind her is real. This is really where she's working from. What a beautiful setting. And I'm just going to describe a little bit the bio that you provided us, Corissa. Corissa's been a pivotal figure in the local business and tourism sectors. In 2018, she began her journey with Crosscut Distillery as the marketing and events manager. Her dedication and innovative approach have led her to her current role as a general manager, while still overseeing the marketing. So Chris is also deeply involved in the community, serving as the vice chair of the Greater Sudbury Development Board and as the chair of the Tourism Development Committee. So through these roles, she actively contributes to the growth and development of Sudbury, fostering both economic and tourism advancements. Welcome, Corissa.
Thank you so very much. What an introduction. I wrote it. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Just bear with me. That would be your password. Okay. All right, everyone. So are we good with my screen? Everyone's connected?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Fabulous. Okay. So thank you very much for the introduction. I'm very happy to be here. I've personally worked with both Innovation Quarters and the Regional Business Center, so that I can speak very highly of both of them. And I've actually been to the Innovation Quarters, and it's a gorgeous facility, so I definitely recommend checking it out. So now some more about me. So my name is Corissa. I am the general manager at Crosscut Distillery. Like you mentioned, I started in 2018 as the marketing and events manager. Um, Although that kind of took on many different roles. So you'll see in my next slide, small business, large responsibility. Like many of you, I'm sure understand. If I have some small business owners in the crowd, so under that umbrella came marketing and social media, which we're going to cover today. But in addition to that, I would manage events, both private events, public events, and any offsite festivals or special events there. Human resources, which would include hiring, training, firing, which is never very fun, administrative roles, recipe development, which is definitely exhaustive, having to play with cocktails all the time. And then we also have retail and bar management, which I've since passed on, and as we've grown, we've been able to bring on some more management there, and sales as well. So internal sales and external sales. So a little bit more about the distillery itself. So we did open up in April of 2018. So I joined about 6 months after the opening date, but the owner and head distiller, his name is Shane Froden. If you hadn't had the pleasure of meeting him, he actually originally worked for the government as a scientist. So he actually worked on the other side of the industry regulating alcohol. So he already had that background knowledge. And when it came to a new opportunity to move north, he decided that he would take a chance on a passion project. So it all started in a shed illegally, don't tell anyone. Yeah, so that's when he found he had a knack for it. So it took about 2 years to open once you jump through all the regulatory bodies, because working with big equipment like this isn't exactly safe if you don't know what you're doing. So we converted an old mechanic shop into the distillery that we have today. So if you haven't been here, once you pull up, you'll actually see these two large garage doors that were true to the building for the mechanic shop. So where I am now sitting in the cocktail bar, there used to be lots of parts and grease and tools. So we've come a long way. So what makes up the distillery is, of course, the distillery itself. So we distill spirits, and we also make products like to-go cocktails and bitters. So that's one side of the business. On the other side, we have our retail shop. So that's when you come in and you are able to purchase all of the products that we make here, like the bottles, the vodka, the gin, the whiskey, etc. And we also bring in supplies from different companies all across Canada and the world to pair with the spirits that we make. So anything from simple syrups, cocktail books like you'll see in the picture, garnish, etc. And then the cocktail bar is another piece of the business. So we have a cocktail bar and a patio, which is half of the actual business right now. So we use the cocktail bar to showcase what we make here at the distillery. So we make, for example, a Haskap and rhubarb gin. So we'll then in turn highlight that on the cocktail bar and make a Haskap rhubarb lemonade. You'll see if you ever come by, you'll be able to see the menu showcasing all the different spirits that we use. So it's a great opportunity for it to kind of go full circle for you to see how everything from where it's made to how it's enjoyed. So just to kind of expand more on the products that we offer, of course, we have the spirits, like I mentioned, vodka, gin, whiskey. To the right of that is the to-go cocktails. If you haven't heard, they're essentially like a grown-up juice box. So it has everything you need. You just simply pour it over ice and enjoy. And then, of course, we have merch, and we have all of the accompaniments that I mentioned before. And how do we sell said products? So, of course, in the retail shop, we're able to sell all of the products. We also have an online store. So that's crosscutdistillery.ca, where you're able to shop and peruse and add to cart anything that we offer in store. So we ship all across Canada, but predominantly we do see most of our sales within Ontario. And then, of course, we have the LCBO, which right now is a bit of a touchy subject. So the LCBO is on strike. Depending on where you're coming from, I'm sure you've seen all the picketers. So what that means is we've seen a large increase in traffic because you aren't able to get spirits or ready-made cocktails anywhere else. So you have to go directly to the source, which is us. We are the source. So we're seeing a large influx of traffic right now, which we can get into a little bit later as well. So yeah, like I mentioned, retail shop, cocktail bar, and our online store. Lastly, restaurants and bars. So we are able to sell directly to restaurants and bars. We have a lot of accounts throughout the Sudbury area, as well as some other northern cities and some down south as well. So they have been really good to us. We have great relationships with different bars and restaurants all across Ontario, and we're very fortunate that they chose to work with us because we are at a higher price point, which we'll get into a little bit later. But there's that advantage, of course, of supporting local, and it's been a really great partnership with many restaurants and bars. Okay, so before we get a little bit further into the social media and marketing of it all, I want to talk about some of the events and experiences that we offer, which really goes into our marketing, and all these things kind of speak to each other. So some of the events that you'll see hosted at the distillery would be themed parties. So you'll see on the far right, there's a cocktail party, and that's not a spelling mistake. It was literally a dog-friendly cocktail party. So that was to raise money for Pet Save. So we had dog-friendly cocktails. We had a bunch of local vendors, and it was a huge success. So we actually have another one coming up this summer. So events like these get a lot of new people into the distillery, and not to mention the content that you're able to gain from these types of events. Who doesn't love taking pictures of dogs and anything pet related? So we're able to get a lot of organic exposure by hosting these fun one-off parties. So cocktail parties, and then build your own Caesar event. So people take pictures of all their big custom Caesars with grilled cheese and salami and all this fun stuff on their Caesar. So we try to be a little bit different in our approach to events, to kind of and use that as a marketing tactic as well. As for private events, we host a lot of intimate gatherings, from bridal showers to anniversaries to birthday parties. We have both the cocktail bar and the patio, and people are able to come and kind of take over and make it their own special event for their group. For offsite events, we will often be seen at large festivals or food and drink events. We love to serve up fast cocktails that don't compromise on flavor. That's kind of our jam. And then, of course, we do tastings and tours. So as you'll see in the picture there, that's a tasting flight. So again, very Instagrammable. These are straight samples of spirits. So people will come in and do a self-guided tasting. So this allows them to select all the spirits that they would like to try. And then we present them their tasting flight, and they're able to walk through what you get on the nose and what you get on the palate. And it's that really like interactive experience, kind of playing on the all the senses of experiences. So that's a really fun addition. And then after that, they're provided with the pricing of all the spirits as well, so they can go and purchase the spirits to recreate that experience at home. Okay, moving on to markets. So this kind of falls into our events as well, but this is another great way to get continued exposure for the distillery. So we host seasonal markets here. So Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, Mother's Day, and we feature local makers. So anything from candle makers, bakers, jewelers, you name it, we've had it. And this is a really great opportunity to give back to our local community. So we don't charge our makers to come and set up at the distillery. We have usually five or six makers per market. And at Christmas time, we do 5 weeks of markets every Saturday. So it's a busy time. We get in a lot of traffic, and it's a really great opportunity to get new people in the distillery. So markets are great for marketing. So all of our vendors have their own following. So for example, Scrunchies by Brie, as you see in the picture, she has her own Instagram following where she is able to promote the market, share more about the distillery, and bring in her, let's say, 5,000 followers into the distillery, which maybe they've never even been or they've never heard of it before. So it's a great opportunity to cross promote local businesses. And then, of course, there is a reward to this as well. So it is an expanded audience, but it's also, we see an increase in sales. So because we're getting so many new faces in, especially around those seasonal times, we see increased sales. So people are coming in maybe to purchase candles from a local maker, but then they are able to sit down and have a cocktail at the bar, or they are able to purchase a couple bottles of gin for Christmas presents or what have you. So it's a win-win for everyone involved in the markets. And at the end of the day, it makes great content and people love engaging with it. Okay, moving on to private parties. So like I mentioned, birthdays, holidays, small weddings, corporate events. We get a ton of content from these types of events as well. So we work with a lot of professional photographers who will come in and capture these special moments for people. And in turn, we're able to utilize those images with their consent on our own platforms. So it's a great opportunity to get content at no cost to us. So we try to repurpose all this content that we're getting to market our own event space and our products. So we're very fortunate to have such a wide array of photographers that come into the distillery and build on that relationship as well. And then, sorry, while I'm on this page, you can also see I have Matique Events who came in to do a balloon arch. So we work with them all the time. And because we give them so much exposure, they love to give back to us. So if we're having a special event, they'll donate some balloon garland for us for our birthday party or our annual witches walk. So a lot of collaboration with local businesses too, which allows us to co-brand and market each other. Okay, this is one of my favorite parts of the business. So now we're going to go into tourism and how that kind of influences our social media and marketing strategy as well. So it wasn't really a part of the plan. When we're talking like the initial business plan, of course, tourism was always referenced. When we go on trips, whether we're going to Niagara, Prince Edward County, we're always planning our trips around these destinations. But for some reason, we didn't really consider this as a primary factor of the business. So over the last almost 6 years, we've really seen the tourism in Sudbury grow, and we're really proud to be like a prime tourism destination in Sudbury. So through tourism, we're able to offer special packages, whether that's with Sudbury Tourism, who we work with regularly, or tour guides, bus guides. And then we can really pull on those experiences as well. So we do a guided tasting. So we'll have a whole group of 30 people from all over Ontario come in to do a guided tasting with us. And then they decide to shop and purchase some products to go. And then they take our products back home to wherever they're from. So we see people reaching out from all over Ontario with our products. So it's been a really great way to showcase our brand all across Ontario. Not to mention, Sudbury Tourism has been so great to us in terms of marketing us. They have their own social media coordinator, and they have been phenomenal in showcasing our brand and kind of showing what we offer, because again, tourism is big picture. It's kind of a big package. So the more to offer for tourists, the better. So it's been a really great partnership with them as well. I apologize, my screen isn't fully open, so if anyone's asking questions, feel free to yell at me. Okay, so now we're going to move into marketing. So this is my jam. This is what I love. I love to showcase this brand and show everything we have to offer. And it's such a fun industry to work in. And you really, I mean, the limit does not exist of the potential here. And it's been really fun to watch it grow since we started. So a little marketing lesson for those who aren't fully versed. So the 4 P's of marketing, so product, placement, price, and promotion. So we've kind of been over this. So our product is defining the actual product itself. So for us, the product is many things. So whether that's the actual spirit, whether that's our venue or our cocktail bar, we really put emphasis on defining what we offer. So when you're on our Instagram or Facebook, for example, we're really trying to show the wide array of products that we offer and being very clear about that, and allowing for conversation about that product. So placement, again, we also reference this in where we sell. So the placement of our products, I mean, we are limited. We're not like some brands who could just go to grocery stores or any festival they want. We are limited due to licensing, but we are able to place our products, of course, in our bar, in our retail shop, in LCBOs when they're not on strike, and our online store as well. And of course, restaurants and bars. So we're able to choose where we showcase our brand, which is really important. When it comes to marketing the brand, you don't necessarily want to showcase it in places that don't align with your strategic goals and your vision of your brand. So even when it comes to working with restaurants and bars, we want to ensure that our method is that it aligns with our vision of the brand. So we just want to make sure that wherever we are, it's a good fit. So price. So I mean, this is something that all business owners kind of struggle with. So we're talking perceived versus real price of a product. So we want to be perceived as a premium product that is still affordable. So a lot of our products are priced in between, almost like your bar rail. For those of you who are in the industry, we're talking like Smirnoff or Absolute. That's like your bar rail basics. And then you have your premium, which is going to be Grey Goose or Syrah, for example. So we are on the premium in terms of quality, but our actual price is in between the two. So we try to do that so you have that perceived value of getting, you know, like an affordable rate, but you still have that quality product. And lastly, promotion. So we're going to get more into that. So we put a lot of emphasis on promoting our product and advertising, of course. So in addition to social media, we work with local radio stations. We've been in print. We've been on web. We have our own newsletter. So we've dabbled in it all, and we've kind of tried to figure out what works best for us. And I'll get into a little bit more about that. Okay, so branding, how we look. So if you've ever been here, you know we have a particular vibe about us. I wish I could do a show of hands, but I can't see anyone on my screen. So I'm hoping some of you have been here, but if not, I would love for you to come here one time. So the overall vibe that we try to portray is kind of this eclectic, vintage steampunk vibe. And if you don't know what steampunk is, you really should Google it because it's very weird. But once you see it, you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So it's very like post-apocalyptic, but also Western and vintage. It's very weird. Just Google it. Anyway, so that's kind of the general vibe that we go for. So our slogan is around here, we do things differently. And we try to really follow through with that in terms of our branding as well. So we're not just trying to look like every other brand. So whether that's the spirits themselves that you'll see in the picture, but that's also how we present our bar and how we present our cocktails. Everything that we do, we want to come across as not so like copy and paste. We want to do things differently and be unique to ourselves, but also kind of pull in that Northern Ontario vibe as well, because we try to market as a Northern Ontario brand, not just a Sudbury brand. And that allows us to feel like, you know, your neighbor or like your backyard distiller. So we try to resonate with Northern Ontario as a whole. Okay, so this is also typically when I like to pull from the crowd, but I always like to ask, what do you think our budget is? Like, if you were to come in and look at our marketing efforts and our print, our social, everything that we put into marketing, if you could guesstimate a approximate budget that we allot every year for marketing. I always like to ask this because that kind of goes back to that like perceived versus real price. So since I can't actually ask anyone, I'm just going to tell you we have $0. So we don't have an allotted budget for marketing. Never have. Hopefully we will one day. But in reality, we are still a small business. So when we talk budget, this month, do we have any extra money that we can invest into boosting a post on social media? Or do we have an extra $500 to put in that radio ad? It's never, we don't have a budget to work with. It's month to month, it's season to season, it's always changing. And as small business owners, you know, it's not always predictable. So it's kind of like a roller coaster of planning and strategic planning for our marketing. So it isn't easy, but we've definitely been able to get really creative. And something we've really leaned into over the last 5 years is collaboration. So we're able to work with bigger marketing firms or radio stations, print advertisers, and negotiate trade or contra, if you will. And this allows us to either cut the costs or completely eliminate the monetary contribution and trade for product or venue rental or whatever we can at that time, or whatever we have surplus in. And people are very understanding for the most part. So that's been our opportunity to get our name out there and make it look like we have this big marketing budget when really we do not. So I want to make sure that people know they can still kind of have that flash of marketing without the big budget. So we'll get into our actual topics now. Okay, so social media. So this is why you guys are here today. So I would love to say, you know, we have a whole dedicated person for our social media, but in reality, it's just little old me. It's not so easy, right? Like a lot of us are probably here because we're trying to figure out how to make it easier, how to get more engagement, and how to get that draw that we're hoping for. So social media has been our day one for marketing. Ever since we opened our doors, we've been working on building our social media accounts. Right now, that is strictly Instagram and Facebook that we put our efforts into. We did start a Pinterest account a couple years ago, but I need a designated person for that too. So I'll get back to you on that. But so our social consists of Instagram and Facebook right now. We did also start on Twitter, now known as X. However, we didn't really get the engagement that we were hoping for. So we decided to focus our efforts where we saw the most engagement. So we're fortunate with our website. So just our regular like Shopify website, where we are able to do all of our online orders, we're able to see where people are coming from. So for example, 50% of people come directly from our Instagram link. So then we put more emphasis on exposure through Instagram, or 20% is only through Facebook. So maybe either we ramp it up or we reassess our efforts on Facebook. So just to get a better idea, like to really tap into those analytics, which you can also get through social media as well. Okay, so gathering content. So this is the fun part. And I just wanted to be fully transparent with all of these. Again, if you have questions, put them in the chat or yell them out to me. Happy to answer. So all the graphics are through Canva. So everything that you see on our page is through Canva. You can access that for free. You can create a free account. We do the Pro Canva, which I think is like $130 a year. And for me, very much worth that fee, even though some years I got in trouble by the boss man upstairs for spending that. But honestly, I use it every single day. Canva is the best. I'm not a graphic designer. I don't know how to code. I I don't have a million hours in the day. It's fast. It gives you templates. And now it's gotten so far advanced. It has like AI generated content that you can use. So if you don't have access to professional photographers and all this stuff, it really does do it for you. And you can customize it to your branding. It is the best. Love it. Um, Another big thing is user generated content. So on the top right, you'll see some ladies cheersing. These are some influencers that we were working with that were generating content while they were here. So we love to repurpose pictures that people take while they're here or when they're at home and they have crosscut spirits or cocktails. We get so much content and we're able to give them credit. So I don't typically repost, but I'll direct message them. I'll ask them if we can repurpose their content with credit. And 99.9% of the time, they're more than willing to share because they put it out there in the first place and they want to show off that they're using the brand and they're proud of it. So, and we want to let them know that we appreciate it too, and we think they have great content. So people love that. So I definitely recommend even asking people to post their user generated content, or UGC as the fancy people would say. Yeah, get them to post their pictures and repost them for sure. So the next one is product photography. We use a lot of that. So whether that's in-house, so for example, I would take pictures of our spirits, or for example, in this photo, we have Luxardo cherries. So Luxardo is a large brand. It's an Italian premium cherry, $25 a jar, but they're the best cherries you'll ever have. And this picture is directly off of their Instagram page. So we're able to utilize all the different brands that we carry. We can go directly to their socials or their website, use that content and repurpose it on our social media. So you can also do the credit. So I would say picture by Luxardo or picture by Fever Tree, another brand that we carry. And so it's more exposure and marketing for them as well. So we've only ever had positive experiences by resharing other brands' content. So I know not everyone has that opportunity to reuse content, but if the option is there, definitely go and check it out. Like we carry over 30 brands, and I'm able to go and access their Instagram accounts directly and just take content right from there. Okay, and then I have professional photography. So I mentioned that a little bit when we were talking about hosting private events and working with professional photographers. So we're able to utilize their photography with credit, and they're always more than willing to share with us, and we can use it on our social and just give them credit in hopes that then someone will follow them and book them for their next special event. Lastly, in-house content creators. So when I say in-house content creators, that is me, but every business is different, but utilize the creators you have in your building. So whether that's the 15-year-old intern or co-op students or the, whoever feels comfortable behind the camera, like let's utilize who we have, take advantage of our team. It's a fun exercise for everyone to participate in, especially if you're on TikTok or doing Instagram Reels. The content now is so employee driven. People love to see the behind the scenes, and they love the real life of working at a business or a company, and they love to see that. So I think any opportunity to showcase your team, what you do, your story, you should definitely be doing that as well. And just a sub note under that, I do have investing in quality equipment. So, I mean, iPhones now or whatever you use have really come a long way in terms of camera quality. But I do also have just like a Canon camera that I use for all my product photography. I do find it makes a big difference in terms of product photography quality. But I mean, that's not always an option for everyone. So iPhones or like your newest upgrade on your phone really does get premium photos. So it's not necessary, And then of course, ring lights as well, or like special lighting you can just get on Amazon for $50. Those really make a difference in terms of making your content look a little bit more high quality. Okay, going in a little bit more in our favorite word that I've probably used 20 times during this presentation, Instagrammable. So that is such a buzzword, but it is true. We do try to curate an Instagrammable space and product. So going to products right off the bat, whether it's our labeling or it's how we garnish our cocktails. For example, this one, the contrast of colors and the rim and whatever is on it. You want to take a picture of it and show all your friends on Instagram that you're drinking the best cocktail in town. And then you go to throw in the old Volkswagen from Papaya Pops, which is another event that we had. We're just creating those Instagrammable experiences and products, and we're combining them all together so that you are drawn to wanting to share that to your following. And then in turn, you create more of that user-generated content that you're able to repurpose. And the buzz of it all. So they're sharing it with their following. So now you have Joe Smith's 30 friends that want to come by next week and try that same cocktail because they saw it on his Instagram. It really does work every time because we come in. So sorry, people come in with those pictures saying, I saw that this person had this, I want it. People love those shared experiences. So again, events, we touched on this as well. So creating those Instagrammable events at the distillery, like the cocktail party with the dogs or our annual witches walk. These are creating these experiences that people want to share. And it's a no-brainer. People want to keep coming back to showcase where they are and what they're doing. Okay, another big one right now that's very trendy is influencer marketing. So if you don't know this lovely lady here, this is Sugar Free Brie, that's her handle. So Sugar Free Brie is a local influencer, but she does work all like worldwide, I think. But she's the best. So she's one of many influencers that we have the privilege of working with. So you may be thinking, how the heck do you afford influencers? We can't. So going back to my earlier comment about being able to do trade or contra, we're able to do an exchange. So we give them product, or in Bree's case, we allowed her to host a special event, a themed event that she wanted to host with her followers. And so we gave her the space for free. So we're able to kind of trade what we have in hopes that they're able to give us kind of that exposure in return. So yeah, so Bree's a great one. She's always showcasing us. And not to mention, we really build that relationship and rapport with our influencer friends that have now become customers. So even if they're not doing everything, even if we're not paying them or trading them to do all of this work, they organically post because we've built that rapport with them. And I think it's more about supporting them back and engaging with their posts and sharing their stuff. So it really comes full circle. So yeah, so continuing on there. So when you work with influencers, they take the content and they share it with their following. So this pair on in this photo here, they're two like mom influencers, and they have a crazy amount of followers, and they came into the distillery with Sudbury Tourism, fortunately, and they were able to share all these experiences with their audience. And so that audience that they built, that's let's say 200, 500,000 people that they have following them, they've built on that. They have a trust with that audience. And so that audience in turn believes what they are selling. So that's why it's important to work with these reputable influencers, because they're not advertising to their following unless they genuinely mean it. They've built that trust. So if they are promoting your brands, their audience is going to believe them. They trust them. They want to take what they're sharing and experience it for themselves. So you already have that trusted audience to build on. Of course, that expanded reach. So that 200, 500,000 followers are now exposed to your brand, and you have that opportunity to connect with them. It's also an opportunity to test out new markets. So these ladies are from down south. I think they're in the Guelph area. So that's Southern Ontario, where we don't typically market. So that's an opportunity for us to expand out there and do some targeted marketing campaigns and see if we can really branch out there as well. And lastly, they're really great at that authentic engagement. So it's not forced versus if you were to spend thousands of dollars on a marketing campaign or a billboard, it's not as authentic because it's forced advertising, if you will. Whereas working with influencers, they're creating these real life experiences and they're just sharing it with you. So they're in here, they're doing tasting flights, they're streaming with their following, saying, "Oh my gosh, you have to try this one," and it's just so real and engaging. And that's the type of content that people connect with. And in turn, we're able to reuse that content. So it's all, the bigger picture is just being able to create that content and that following. Okay, so how do we measure it all? I'll show you a few real-time analytics. These are really big for us. So everyone has access. If you have a business page on Instagram or Facebook, you have access to these analytics. So I strongly recommend utilizing them. We'll get into them more specifically, but this allows us to really readjust our marketing efforts when we're able to see that, for example, a post about barrels and how pretty they are only gets 20 likes and 2 shares. Maybe that's not the content our followers or want to see, or they're not getting value from. But my post about how to make a Tom Collins for a summer party gets 100 likes and 200 shares. So we really gauge our marketing efforts and our social media strategy based on the engagement. It's not even about, it's becoming less and less about the number of followers and the number of likes, but the quality of engagement that you're getting, because your followers trust you for that good quality content. That's what we want to deliver to them. And that's how we gain that loyalty. And then they come in and then they purchase all those products, because at the end of the day, it's about the sales. So this first spread I have for you is actually from our newsletter. So we use OmniSend, which is just like SurveyMonkey or all those other ones that you can utilize. This one we do pay for monthly based on how many followers we have, but there are some free ones as well. So I just wanted to show you, in terms of content, all that stuff that we capture for our social media pages, we also utilize in our newsletter. So there isn't a dedicated content strategy for our newsletter. We are able to figure out what our message is for this. For this example, it's a whiskey release. So we already know we have all the content from our social media that we need for this newsletter. So we repurpose that. We are queens and kings of repurposing content. We use it on our website, our newsletter, our marketing materials, everything. So it just kind of goes to show you, when you invest in that and getting good content, it really goes a long way. So just for those who are curious, there's a lot of numbers here, but what you'll see is we sent over 2.6K emails. 58% of them were opened, which doesn't sound like a lot, but the industry rate is 21%. So for us, that is big. So we're above industry average. And a lot of that is a reflection of the content that we use. People are invested, they want to see it, they want to get that access. And then if you want to keep looking through there, you'll see how many people actually clicked to go to the website, and then how many people actually ordered something. So in this case, we got 17 orders from this one newsletter, which for us, a small business, is huge. That's a great return for us. Okay, so this is now going into back to social media. So this is social advertisements. So this isn't just your regular organic posts. This is paid promotions on your website, or sorry, on your social media. So when you boost a post, these are the types of analytics that you get after your your advertising period is over. So I have two here for an example. The first one is website visitors. That was the goal. So to get more website visitors, we were advertising our Christmas cocktail sets. So we ended up spending $135 on that. I don't remember the duration, but it was probably a couple weeks. And we were able to get 720 people directly to our website that we wouldn't organically get from a post. And then you'll see the next one, which wasn't as successful. Just for contrast, it reached double the amount of people because we spent more money. We spent $230. It's almost $100 more, but we reached 10,000 more people. But because the actual content wasn't as engaging for people, only 400 people went to the website versus the 720. So that's just a reflection of the content itself until we take that information and we kind of revisit how we can do it better. If we are trying to reach that goal, how do we go about it differently? Content. Okay, so this one is just to kind of show you the analytics of those organic posts. So when you just post a picture or a graphic to Instagram or Facebook, you're able to view your insights. So this is what that typically looks like. So just to kind of show you some of the screenshots that I've taken. So in the first one, we were promoting a booze and bagels event. So we did a collaboration with Salty Dog Bagels, who's now closed, and we're very sad about it. But so Booze and Bagels was an event. And these are the type of analytics we like to see. So 143 people liked it, 6 people commented on it, 49 people shared it with someone else. So that's what we like to see. And then 3 people saved it. And then if you go down a little bit further, the overview, so it reached almost 3,500 people, 177 accounts participated in it. And 106 of those overall reach were non-followers. So that's opportunity to gain those followers as well. And then you can see further and further with the different content. So the middle one, we received the most engagement. And this was our annual Witches Walk, which we know is a huge success. And the more organic engagement that you get, the more accounts that it reaches. So again, going back to the quality of the content, the more quality that people derive from your post or your picture, your graphic, the more organic engagement you're going to get. So this one reached over 4,600 accounts. 710 of them were non-followers. So that's an opportunity for over 700 new faces to our brand because people were engaging so well with this specific content. Okay, so that's kind of a wrap on the presentation. I want to encourage everyone to obviously follow us, but definitely send me a message if you ever want to chat social media or content or websites or newsletters. I love it. I love it all. So yeah, if you want to hear more, let's chat for sure.
Amazing. Thank you so much. What an excellent presentation. And I love that you went into details near the end about sort of measuring that success. So thank you so much. I encourage everybody, we have a few minutes for questions, to go ahead and type your questions in the chat. And while you go ahead and type, I'll start with the first question. We talked a lot about photos, images for posting. What about Reels?
Yes. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't even touch on Reels. We love that. I mean, it's the TikTok of Instagram for those of you who aren't overly familiar. So Instagram has put a lot of emphasis on pushing Reels out. They're really trying to focus on getting more users into Reels. So that's your video content. And what we're seeing is a lot more organic engagement through Reels. So we try our best to stay on top of the trends. So you can actually go to your Instagram Reels and view what's trending. And I would recommend literally recreating those with your products and your staff with the trending audio, because whatever is trending, Instagram is going to automatically push out. And that's how you get like organic exposure and that engagement. So yeah, when we have the time, we love putting our efforts into creating reels. I actually have like 1 million saved on my phone that I want to do because people love it. Like you can't go wrong with it.
Awesome. That's great advice. We have a question from Angela. How far in advance do you start planning campaigns or start collecting content?
That's a great question. Being fully transparent, I'm not as organized as I should be. So I think that is true to small businesses. I think we have all these big ideas and things that we want to get across, but no, we don't always have the time. So for me, I like to dedicate like almost a full day or a half day to getting content, and that might only be once every couple months. And then I focus on getting high quality content, whether that's our cocktails or our staff or events. And I plan all of that in my actual Instagram app. So you can draft a bunch of different posts. I plan out the actual description and the tags and everything I need to. And then I'm able to either schedule it, which you can do, or just post it when it's a good fit. For us personally, with our business, it's always it's not easy to necessarily plan for. So for example, right now with the LCBO strike, we really had to switch all of our content to be very focused on what's available now, what people can buy, and less about events and other things. So for us, we kind of have to be on our toes and see what fits in the moment. So I know every business is different, but for us, that seems to be the best approach to it. But there are so many apps out there now, or platforms that you can use to plan out your content. But yeah, what works best for me is dedicating content days, getting the content, and then drafting as much as I can, if that helps.
That is great advice, right? Is that planning that time to go ahead and gather that content, right? We have talked a great amount about product-based for posts, which I think has been really excellent. What can you recommend for businesses that are more service-based, whether it's lawn care or hair or something else?
Yeah, great question. So I think that kind of falls into almost like our events category of our business, because more or less like it's a service that we offer is the space and the bartending and all of that. So I think it's putting more of a focus on the customer experience, and like the general experience that a customer would be receiving. So for us, it's the space, but for like a lawn care business, for example, it's what is the experience that you're providing for your customer and how can you showcase that in content? So whether that's testimonials from other customers, or one of the accounts that I actually follow on TikTok right now that I'm obsessed with is he does pro bono lawn work. So he goes around and he films himself doing lawn work on these horrific lawns, and he does it like overnight, before and after. So people love that stuff. They want to see what you can do and how they can experience it for themselves. So I think just getting creative with showcasing that is key for services.
Great suggestion. I'm pretty sure I've seen some of those, and someone in the chat might have as well. So are there any final questions before we wrap things up?
Yes, I have Lori who joined in person today. She asked me if we utilize LinkedIn, and we do and we don't. We do have a LinkedIn page where we're able to post more professional content, for example, like this webinar, or if we're hiring, but we don't necessarily use it as a marketing tool at this point. But I definitely think there's value in it, especially like you were saying, for maybe some more service-based businesses as well. Yeah, just right now, that's not on our marketing strategy.
Hey, and a quick question from Dave. What about YouTube?
Oh, you guys are killing me. So YouTube is amazing. I think it's a phenomenal resource, and people see a lot of success with YouTube. actually one of our providers, Dan from Bucky's Blend, if you're familiar, he makes spices. He's the best, and he's a freaking character. And so he makes YouTube videos, and he dedicates a whole video to using one of his spices, and he'll make a whole meal out of it. I'm obsessed. I think it's awesome. We could definitely look into that at this time. If we're creating video content, it would go to Reels. I know you're able to, if you have the right equipment, you could utilize that video content across the board and use it on different platforms. I'll be fully honest, we just don't have the time and the capability to do that right now. Advice that I saw one time was to kind of focus in on the platforms that you see the most value in, and don't stretch yourself too thin. So for us, like I mentioned before, Facebook and Instagram is where we see 99% of our traffic to our website and to our store. So that's where we put in our marketing efforts. If we dabble in LinkedIn or YouTube and we start to see these huge engagement rates, then we would rejig our strategy there. But I think especially as small businesses, we can't wear ourselves too thin because we have a million other things to do. And so that's kind of my take in terms of social media here at the distillery. Is I love it. We have so much fun doing it. It's the best way to get our product out there, but we're also still running a business and we have a million other things under our umbrella to do, which I think is like the most realistic thing as a small business, right? So figure out your strengths and what gets the most engagement and put the effort that you have into that.
Great advice. Absolutely, for sure. I see you have an event happening tomorrow, or sorry, on Saturday.
Oh, yes. I'm like, oh no, what event? Sorry, it's been so hectic here. Yeah, the Angel Bakes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's another example of a collaboration that we have. So Angel Bakes is a phenomenal baker in Sudbury. She doesn't have a storefront, so we are hosting her. So far, this will be our third one, but we've been hosting her every month as a pop-up, and she's able to come in and sell her products. She's gained this huge following. She has this very Instagrammable dessert. You need to go check it out. You're gonna die. Like these like cookies built into a croissant. Epic. So we love collaborating with small businesses like that. In another picture, you saw the Papaya Pops Volkswagen. So this was another pop-up that we did, and she came and sold her popsicles. So it's just another really great way to cross promote and get more people in here for us and for them. So you'll see a lot of pop-ups like that if you follow along.
Amazing. Okay, I'll encourage everybody here to go ahead and to follow Crosscut. Thank you so much for all the information you provided today. Lots of thank yous in the chat. So for everybody else, look for a follow-up email with a survey just to let us know how you enjoyed today's webinar. And you can also watch this recorded webinar. We'll be posting it on our website shortly. So thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.